بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today is the sixth day in the month of Shawwal 1440 after the historic hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the ninth day in the month of June 2019, the Christian era. This is our 62nd lesson in this kitab, Aqeedatul Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin, rahmatullah alayh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. Our last lesson, we discussed al-iman bi-anna sahaif al-a'mal tu'ta bil-yamin aw bil-shimal. Believe that the scrolls, the books of record, are going to be presented to each individual on Yawm al-Qiyamah, either receiving it with his right hand or the individual receives it with his left hand. Now, the verses of the Quran, the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that affirmed that belief were referenced. Today we're going to talk about al-imanu bil mizan ala haqiqatihi. Belief in the scales, the balances of justice, the scales of justice that will be set up on Yawm al-Qiyamah. In its reality, ala haqiqatihi. The reason being that you have the Mu'tazilite, the rational thinkers. They don't believe in whatever the human mind cannot comprehend. So whatever the human mind cannot comprehend, the Mu'tazilite rejects it. For example, they reject the punishment of grave, the punishment of the grave. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has established the punishment of the grave in the glorious Quran. For example, in Allah said, "An-naru yuraduna alayha guduwan wa ashiya wa yawma taqumu sa'a adkhilu ahla fir'auna ashad al-adhab." This verse in Quran 32:21, Quran 40:46. These verses have affirmed the punishment of hell. But the rational thinkers, they don't believe in that. So amongst the things that they reject is the scales of justice, mizan, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said is going to set up on Yawm al-Qiyamah. But as it is with everything, and that is what we want to build people upon, whenever there is any ideology that is strange, you don't refute the ideology by attacking, by insulting. You refute any dodgy ideology with evidences. Bil-hikmah wal-maw'idatil hasana. You don't start attacking someone with deviant ideology, as if you are attacking his personality. No, you go to the ideology and present evidences against that evil ideology. And if you do that, there will be the hope that verily you are doing it for the sake of Allah, one, and secondly, people will stand the chance of accepting the truth you're calling them to. So whenever you see any idea or any ideology that is contrary to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the only way to do away with that type of ideology is by refuting it intellectually. So a religion is all about calling people onto the path of Allah with knowledge. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ, from an informed perspective. كما قال الله تعالى في سورة يوسف. So you have to be equipped with the instruments of Sharia to be able to refute any evil ideology and to establish the truth. So we're going to do the same thing now. Now, the chapter is Al-Iman bil-Mizan ala haqiqatihi. Why are we saying that this is part of the Iman, the part of the belief of the Aqidah of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah? Because you have the rationalists, you have the Mu'tazilite that deny the setting up of balances of justice on Yawm al-Qiyamah al-Mizan. So how do you refute that? I'm asking you. I've always said in this class, the formula is you go back to Quran and Sunnah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed us. Whenever you have any discrepancy on any issue, go back to Quran, refer them back to Quran and Sunnah. Knock at the doors of the Quran, knock at the doors of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and therein you will be, you will be rescued from your confusion. Now, so let us listen to what Sheikh has to say. قوله is statement وَنُؤْمِنُ بِالْمَوَازِينَ تُوضَعُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. Part of the Aqeedah of Ahlus Sunnah Jama'ah is that we believe in the balances of justice. We believe in the balances of justice. Mawazin. We're going to discuss this. We believe in the balances of justice. And that too, that Yawm al-Qiyamah, they are going to be set up on the day of judgment. Allah will set up balances of justice on Yawm al-Qiyamah. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. Then none will be dealt with unjustly in anything. I will not be dealt with unjustly in anything. You will not be dealt with unjustly in anything. Now, the beauty of it is that Allah is Al-Adl, isn't it? Allah is the just. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا. Allah is Al-Adl. Whatever Allah does is full of justice. Whether we understand this aspect of justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be done. Whether apparently it appears to us as something that is negative, but there is no any negativity when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever Allah does is full of justice. Now, Allah knows everything that we do. Allah is fully aware of everything that we do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا ذَلِكَ, Allah has assigned to each one of us angels that are always present with us to record whatever we do. Not because Allah doesn't know, but for us to know on Yawm al-Qiyamah, so that no man will appear before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say Allah has dealt with him unjustly. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا. Despite the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fully aware of everything that we do, again, there are angels. مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ مِنْ قَوْلٍ لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. Whatever you say, there are angels, and this means whatever. Min qawlin. Am I communicating? Min az-zaida. Min qawlin. It contains everything that you utter. The angels are there. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, wa kulla insani. We did it. The last class that we did. Every one of us on Yawm al-Qiyamah, ألزمناه طائره في عنقه ونخرج له يوم القيامة كتابا يلقاه منشورا اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran chapter 17 verses 13 to 14. Each one of us has, for the sake of explanation, a microchip attached to its neck. Whatever we do, it's been kept in that memory card. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنُخْرِجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, and it will be removed. That thing will be turned into a book that is widely opened. Kitaban manshura. Yalqahu manshura. Then out of the justice of Allah, now Allah knows everything that we do. All these things are being recorded. Again, Allah says, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, nobody is going to be asked to just go to hellfire, just go to Jannah. No, still, the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls for, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put up all these just measures, so that at the end of the day, whoever ends up in Jannah knows that it is by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever ends up in Jahannam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us, will now have no one to blame but himself. Because Allah will now say, Iqra. It will be said to that person on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Iqra kitabaka kafa bi nafsika al-yawma alayka hasiba. Read your book, and you are enough as a reckoner against yourself. أليس كذلك? You are enough as a reckoner against yourself. You know all these things that you have done. You read your book, nothing is there that you haven't done. Everything that you find in your book is exactly what you've done. Everything has been recorded. So that is another justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you'll be asked to read. Not another person reading on your behalf. Read your own book. So that you will affirm whatever is inside. Lest you start saying that someone has read it wrongly. No, you read it yourself. Alaysa kadhalik. Then, again, amongst the justice, the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will be exhibited on that day is this mizan that will be set up. The balances of justice that will be set up. Then, one of the evidences to refute the people of negative aqidah that is not in tandem with the aqidah of Ahlus, Sunnah wal Jama'ah is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, we say we go back to Quran and Sunnah. You don't insult. You don't become vulgar in trying to refute an evil ideology. You have to be very, intellectual decorum when you're discussing issues. You have to discuss them within the realm of intellectualism. Because whoever is upon a wrong aqidah, it is your hope that it leaves that aqidah and comes back to the correct aqidah. So how do you express that? Is through a very, a good method, etiquette of misunderstanding and establishing, arguments against anything that is wrong. So you use evidences, and our first evidence is from the glorious Quran. As I've said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. Whoever does an atom's worth of good, yara, you will see it. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Whoever does an atom's worth of evil shall see it. That is another evidence. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Then those whose scales of good deeds are heavy. ثَقُلَتْ. Meaning your good deeds are heavier than your bad deeds. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Who are these people? Those are they who are successful. So success lies in your good deeds being heavy on the scale of justice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to establish. Now, Allah says, فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. This is an evidence against the Mu'tazilite that deny the scales of justice, isn't it? We have the verse of the Quran. Allah is saying in Surah Al-Mu'minun, Quran chapter 23, verse 102. وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and those whose scales of good deeds are light, they are not heavy. Meaning the evil deed has outweighed the good deed. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, there are those who lose their own selves. In hell will they abide. Khalidun, they will abide forever and ever in Jahannam. Abad al-Abidin. They will be there forever and ever. Why? Because their scales of good deeds are light. This is an evidence of the existence of scales. We're going to discuss it. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, تَلْفَهُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارِ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. What is going to be the end of these people whose scales of good deeds are going to be light? The fire will burn their faces, and therein they will grin with displaced lips. They will be disfigured. We're going to, each verse of the Quran has been systematically placed. There is a reason why it is there, and there is absolute wisdom behind its placement. The choice of words, everything you find in the Quran is perfect in its precision. لأن القرآن, because the Quran itself, Kalamullah, is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alaysa kadhalik. So you will never find any crookedness in the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Do they not ponder over the Quran? If it has come from other than Allah, they would have find therein so many far-fetchedness, so many contradictions, so many discrepancies. But because it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will only find perfect precision in every word, every statement, every alphabet of the Quran. There is, perfection in its precision, and it's brimming in the wisdom, divine wisdom that the Quran represents. Now, again, Man ja'a bil hasana, another evidence in Surah Al-An'am, Quran chapter 6, verse 16. Allah says, Man ja'a bil hasanati. Naam, verse 106. Verse 160. 160. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu ashrun amthaliha wa man ja'a bis sayyi'ah fala yujza illa mithlaha wa hum la yuzlamun. Whoever comes with any good deed, what is going to happen to that person? Is going to have 10. The minimum you're going to have whenever you do any good deed is 10 rewards. The minimum you're going to have is 10. This is, you've deposited in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the least you're going to have is 10-fold of what you deposited. But Allah can increase it in manifold. Allah can increase it. But the least you get is 10 times what you have deposited. And this speaks volume of the beauty of Islam. And this in itself is an encouragement to do good deeds. Whoever is told that whenever you do any good, you're going to have at least 10 reward therein, then you are encouraged to do more good. Isn't it? And this is reward system that is found in Islam. The reward system that is found in Quran. In this world, if you have an employee, if he does something good, you the employer, if you reward him, he does more good. This is the system of the Quran. Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu ashru amthaliha. The reward system. Just so we will enter Jannah. So Allah has put up all this encouragement for us in the Quran. The reward system of the Sharia leaves no stone unturned for us to do more good. Because the more you're good, the higher your chances of having the mercy of Allah engulfing you. And the higher your chances of entering Jannah. Because at the end of the day, وَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. Isn't it? فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. He whose scales of good deeds are heavy. What will make them to be heavy? You have more good deeds than your evil deeds. And because Allah wants our scales of good deeds to be heavy, then the reward system, مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ عَشْرُ أَمْثَالِهَا. Are you following? وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ. But because we are discouraged from doing evil deed, وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ. Whoever comes with an evil deed, فَلَا يُجْزَى إِلَّا مِثْلَهَا. It will not be recompensed except with the like of it. Tit for tat. There is no any double punishment for the evil you have done. In accordance with the evil, al-jaza'u min jinsil amal. We're going to punish you. But when it comes to good, we are rewarding you more than the good you bring. Isn't this encouraging? Isn't this the beauty of Islam? Isn't this what the Muslims need to propagate? So we're discouraged from doing evil. And again, even in the punishment of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us how just He is. When it comes to evil, Allah has the right to punish us more. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed for Himself not to punish us beyond the evil that we have done. But when it comes to good, because Allah is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, when it comes to good, Allah increases the reward for us. Because it decreases nothing in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just as Allah punishing you does not increase anything in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But all these verses are there for us to understand that everything will be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Our deeds will be brought, and the scales of justice, the balances of justice will be set up for these deeds to be weighed. Now, قوله the statement of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِالْمَوَازِينَ, we believe in the balances of justice. تُوضَعُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, they're going to be set up on Yawm al-Qiyamah. فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا, and no soul will be dealt with unjustly in anything. Bil-mawazin, now the commentary. Bil-mawazin, mawazin. Mawazin, jam'u mizan. The single word is mizan, scale of justice. Mawazin, balances of justice, which is the plural. Alaysa kadhalik. This is singular and this is plural. The singular is mizan, the plural is mawazin. Are you following? Naam. وذكرت في الكتاب والسنة مرة بالجمع ومرة بالإفراد. In Quran and Sunnah, sometimes it appears in singular form, mizan. Sometimes it appears in the plural form, mawazin. As a way of illustration, فَقَالَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I hope you understand. Mufrad, naam. And it appears in all of these formats in the glorious Quran and also in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, فَقَالَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَنَدَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ, the verse in question. That's Quran 21, Surah Al-Anbiya, Quran 21, verse 47. Quran 21, 47. Quran 21, 47. It appears in jam form. Allah said, وَنَدَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. The scales of justice will be set up on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Are you following? This is in Surah Al-Anbiya. Have I given you the reference? 47, verse 47. Anbiya 47. And we shall set up balances of justice. Listen to the word mawazin. Mawazin. Al-mawazin al-qista. Balances of justice. So here it appears in jam. In Surah Al-Hadid, Quran 57, verse 25, Allah said, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمِيزَانِ. Allah said, verily, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا, we've sent our messengers بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, with clear evidence. وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابِ, and we revealed alongside with them books. وَالْمِيزَانِ. Allah didn't say kutub here. You know, al-kitab, ma'ana jinsiyya lil-istighraq. It encompasses everything. The same thing Allah said, wal-mizan. You know, this lamun here is jinsiyya lil-istighraq. Mawazin also. Am I communicating? Do you understand? But here it appears what? Quran 57, verse 25. It appears in singular form. In Quran 23, verse 43, Quran 21, verse 47, it appears in what? Jam form. وَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, and you have all the verses as a way of assignment. You look for Mizan, Mawazin. If the many places it appears in the Quran. Mizan, Mawazin, that's your assignment. Al-Mizan wal-Mawazin. So you tell me the verses that they appear in Quran. The chapter, the verse number. That's your assignment. Now, it appeared also in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said, "Kalimatani habibatan ila ar-Rahman, khafifatan ala al-lisan, thaqilatan fil mizan." Here, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Fil mizan." It didn't say mawazin. It appeared what? In its singular form, fil mizan. What? Kalimatan. Two statements. Habibatan. They are beloved ila ar-Rahman. They are beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah loves them. Khafifatan ala al-lisan. Khafifatan ala al-lisan. They are very light. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ. Can't you see? فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ ثَقِيلَتَانْ kenai. وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ خَفِيفَتَانْ, light. You can see the word appearing in the verse of Surah Al-Mu'minun, Quran 23. And here in this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Bukhari and Muslim, muttafaq alayh. In Bukhari, hadith number 6406. In Muslim, hadith number 2694. Bukhari, 6406. Muslim, 2694. Kalimatani, two words, two statements. Habibatan ila Rahman, they are beloved to Allah. Allah loves them. Khafifatan ala lisan, they are very light on the tongue. They are not heavy on the tongue. Khafifatan ala lisan. Thaqilatani fil mizan, but they are very heavy on the scales. Do you understand? They are light on the tongue, heavy on the scales. What we are using this as an evidence to say that Al-Mizan appeared in singular form here. But this also is another evidence that the scales of justice are going to be established. And this also is another evidence that we should do, apparently, we might belittle certain good deeds, but in the sight of Allah, they are very big. لا تحقرن المعروف لا تحقرن معروفا شيئا. Do not belittle any good deed. So, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. These are the two statements. They are very light on the tongue. You can say 1,000 of it in the day without feeling any boredom or any burden. But they are very heavy on the scales of justice. Thaqilatan. So what is this? We should repeatedly say Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. Since the Prophet said they are beloved to Allah, which means he who does them will be beloved to Allah too. That is mafhum. Mafhum al-kalam also. If these statements are beloved to Allah, hence the one that does them will be beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, al-muhalla shahid is fil mizan. So, al-mizan, this lamun here, ay lam lil jinsiyya, lil istighraq. It is all encompassing. Al-mizan mawazin. Now, wal jamu'u baynahuma. How do we reconcile between this mizan, al-mizan, wal mawazin? Which one? In one place in the Quran, it tells us al-mizan. In the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it says al-mizan. In another place in the glorious Quran, it said al-mawazin. Sheikh says, if you have this type of book, it's in page 20. I don't know the other one. Sheikh says, he said, وَمَنِ ادَّعَى أَنَّ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى أَوْ فِي سُنَّةِ رَسُولِهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم أو بينهما تناقضا فذلك لسوء قصده وزيغ قلبه فليتب إلى الله تعالى ولينزع عن غيه ومن توهم التناقض في كتاب الله تعالى وفي سنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أو بينهما فذلك إما لقلة علمه أو قصور فهمه أو تقصيره في التدبر فليبحث عن العلم وليجتهد في التدبر حتى يتبين له الحق فإن لم يتبين له. If it does not, if the truth is said, whoever claims that there is contradiction between Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or between the verses of the Quran, or between the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said it is either that person has evil intention towards the Quran and the Sunnah, or it is as a result of his lack of comprehension and reflection and understanding. So he should leave his confusion and should seek for the knowledge from the one that is more knowledgeable, because the answer is already given. Do you understand? So now, how do we reconcile al-mawazin wal-mizan that appeared? وَالْجَمُعُ بَيْنَهُمَا يَسِيرٌ وَهُوَ أَنَّ الْمَوَازِينَ جُمِعَتْ إِمَّا لِكَثْرَةِ مَا يُوزَنُ بِهَا وَإِمَّا لِكَثْرَتِهَا بِاعْتِبَارِ الْأَشْخَاصِ كُلَّ إِنسَانٍ لَهُ مِيزَانٌ. Listen to this amazing explanation. The reconciliation between al-mizan wal-mawazin yasirun is very easy. وَهُوَ أَنَّ الْمَوَازِينَ the balances of justice, Jumi'at, it has been referred to as balances of justice. It appeared in plural form. Imma lekathrati ma yuzanu biha. Either because of the many things that are going to be weighed. Do you understand? Wa imma lekathratiha, or because of the many scales that are going to be established bi itibar al-ashkhas, because of many people that are going to have their deeds weighed on that day. Kullu insan, every man, lahu mizan, has a scale. So if every man has a scale, al-mizan, then you have, the other person has, then it becomes al-mawazin, because it is going to be established for each person. Am I communicating? Aw likathrati ma yu'zan biha, or because of the many things that are going to be weighed by it. Wa imma bi'itibar al-umam, or with respect to what? Nations. Alaysa kadhalik. Wa amma al-afrad fa huwa mufrad yuradu bihi al-umum. Take this rule again. This is another important rule. In the Sharia, in the Quran, and also in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and even in the statements of the Salaf, sometimes statements appear in plural form with the intent of a singular state or of a singular object, while in some other cases they appear in singular form, but it's general for everyone. Do you understand? Wa ammal insan, as for man, but this one is for everyone. Wal asr, Allah took an oath with time, but this is absolute time. It refers to the past, the present, and the future. Am I communicating? Now, if the other opinion is not strong enough for you, then we said, okay, al-mizan, for huwa mufradun yuradu bihi al-umum. It is single that, a plural is intended with. So it is al-mizan, but what is intended with it is plural. Am I communicating? So a lot of it appears in Quran, in the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لأنه للجنس, because it is, generic. Am I communicating? It is generic. ثم ما الذي يوزن. Our next question is, are you clear with this difference between al-mawazin and al-mizan? Are you clear? Is there anyone that needs more explanation? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, let us ask the next question. ثم ما الذي يوزن. ما الذي يوزن. What will be weighed? What is it that will be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah? هل يوزن العمل. Is it the deeds that are going to be weighed? أو يوزن العامل. Or the doer of an action will be the one that will be weighed. أو توزن الصحائف. Or it is the books of records that are going to be weighed. Which one? I'm asking the class. Now, the question is it the deeds that are going to be weighed, or the doer of the deed, or the books of record? If it is the deeds, what is your evidence? Hatu burhanakum. Bring forth your evidence. If you say it's the deeds, I can assure you there are verses in the Quran to substantiate that, and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. If you say it is the doer of the deed that will be weighed, I can assure you there is a verse in the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. If you say it is the book that is going to be weighed, I can assure you also that there are verses in the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ to confirm each of these. So let us go through these evidences and appreciate what is kept in Nam. The book. What is your evidence? Yeah, but read your book does not mean that the book has been put on the scales. Khairan yara. Yeah, but that is why I said whichever one of the three possibilities, there is a verse in the Quran to substantiate it. Whichever one you adopt. So since there is verse for each one, we now say each is possible. Now, pay attention. Am I communicating? Pay attention and enjoying this, intellectual ride that the Sheikh is taking us through. Kullu hadha warada. Each one of these has appeared. Evidences, it has been mentioned. Each of these has been mentioned. Am I communicating? Each of these has been mentioned. كل هذا ورد فورد ما يدل على أن الذي يوزن العامل. It has been brought in the Sharia and the Quran على أن الذي يوزن العامل. The door of the action is the one that will be weighed. Allah will weigh you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah will weigh me on Yawm al-Qiyamah. How do I weigh? What is going to be my spiritual weight? This is not about physical weight, 65 kg, 70 kg. We're talking about spiritual weight. It has nothing to do with your physical appearance. And you're going to appreciate why I said this. So when we talk about spiritual weight, not physical weight that you climb on the scale to see your 65 kg or 70 kg. No, we're talking about spiritual weight. There is evidence that you're going to be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah. What is this evidence? فورد ما يدل على أن الذي يوزن العامل وذلك فيما صح في قصة ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه. It is what has been established authentically in the qissa of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud رضي الله عنه, may Allah be pleased with him. أنه, that he, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, kharaja. Are you paying attention, Mafhum? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud kharaja. What evidence are we trying to establish? Who can remind me? Yeah, the evidence that we as individuals are going to be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Now we believe that the balances of justice are going to be established. Now the next question we're trying to understand here is it the dates that are going to be weighed, or the door of the action, or the books of record? Now we said each of these has evidence to back it up in the Quran. So we are discussing the first one. The first one is that the door of an action will be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Then we say, what is our evidence? Now quickly, we say the evidence is the hadith that has been affirmed, authenticated, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. This hadith is in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, hadith number 920. Imam al-Bukhari brought this hadith in Al-Adab al-Mufrad, hadith number 237. Imam al-Tabarani brought it. Sheikh Nasruddin al-Albani authenticated the hadith in Silsilat al-Sahihah, hadith number 3192. I hope you got all the evidences. If you go to National Mosque, you get Al-Adab al-Mufrad in English. The English one is the Arabic and English translation. Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Now, the hadith originally in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, hadith number 920, in the Kitab of Imam Bukhari, Al-Adab al-Mufrad, not Sahih al-Bukhari, Al-Adab al-Mufrad, hadith number 237. In Silsilat al-Ahadith al-Sahihah, Sheikh Nasruddin al-Albani said the hadith is authentic in hadith number 3192. Now, what is this hadith? أنه خرج يمشي ذات يوم. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he went out one day and he was walking on the streets. وكانت الريح شديدة, and the wind was very violent. Storm, it was very windy. شديدة, it was very windy. فجعلت, then this wind now made the cloth of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud تكفأه. Now وكانت ساقاه دقيقتين. You know, the wind came and blew his cloth. فجعلت تكفأه وكانت ساقاه دقيقتين. فأخبر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنهما في الميزان مثل أحد. When it came, it blew away his cloth and his legs appeared, and they were very small, دقيقتين, very thin legs. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the giant Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. So when we talk about giants in spiritual realm, we are not looking at the physical appearance. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is a giant. But you can see, this is what some scholars said, that he was short and very slim, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Yet this was an individual that said, I'm not bragging about it, but there is no any single verse of the Quran that he, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, does not know when the verse was revealed and the tafsir of the verse. All the verses of the Quran, he knew when they were revealed, why they were revealed, and the meaning of those verses. That was Ibn Mas'ud. This was an individual that the Prophet ﷺ said, read the Quran for me. Read the Quran for me. And Ibn Mas'ud said, shall I read the Quran for you? Wa alayka unzila, and the Quran was revealed for you. It was your Quran revealed. Allah revealed the Quran upon you. You're asking me to read the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ said, I'd love to hear the recitation from you. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was reciting until he reached the verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Surah An-Nisa, Quran chapter 4, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what will it be when each nation is brought up with their evidence and you are brought up as evidence against everyone? And the Prophet ﷺ started shedding tears. Hasbuk, and he said to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, enough, don't read again. The Prophet, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud read his recitation, moved the Prophet ﷺ to tears. But this Abdullah ibn Mas'ud had very thin legs, but spiritual giant. And that hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَأَخْبَرَ النَّبِي sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam now informed. In another narration, they say people were laughing when they saw the slender nature of his legs. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أَنَّهُمَا فِي الْمِيزَانِ مِثْلَ أُحُدٍ. You see these legs of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that are very slim, that you see on the scales, they are as big as Mount Uhud. That is the weight of those legs, as big as Mount Uhud. Now, you have to appreciate the size of Mount Uhud and imagine the weight of Mount Uhud before you can appreciate the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can Google it. You can try to Google it. What is the footage, the footing, the square meter footing of Mount Uhud, to know the area Mount Uhud is covering. Then imagine a stone as big as Mount Uhud. You want to weigh it. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, now, who can tell me, how is this an evidence that we are going to be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah? How is this hadith an evidence that we are going to be weighed on Yawm al-Qiyamah? Now, Fil Mizan, the Prophet was specific. Fil Mizan, which means they are going to be put on the scale and weighed. And if the legs are put on the scale to be weighed, they are going to weigh as big as Mount Uhud. Which means Al-Amil Yozan, the doer of an act, will be weighed also. Kaima say an gwadaka, knowingka. This weight is what we call the spiritual weight. وهذا الذي يدل على أن الذي يؤذن العامل وربما يستدل له بقوله تعالى. We can also establish an evidence by using the verse of the Quran. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah Al-Kahf? Don't you read it? Allah said, قُلْ Hal nunabbi'ukum bil akhsarina a'mala. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, shall we tell you the greatest losers in respect of their deeds? But they've done the deeds. But they are the greatest losers with respect to their deeds. Their deeds are not going to be helpful to them. Alladhi dalla sa'yuhum fil hayati dunya. Those whose efforts have been wasted in this life. وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. While they thought that they were acquiring good by their deeds. They thought that when they die, Allah is going to admit them to Jannah. But their deeds have been wasted in this world. Then Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. That is why no single non-Muslim will have his good deeds benefit him on Yawm al-Qiyamah. There is no amount of good deed that a non-Muslim will do without tawheed that will be of benefit to him on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah is just. The good deed of a non-Muslim will benefit him in this world, but not on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Then Allah said, فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. Can't you see? Allah said, and on the day of resurrection, we shall assign not weight for them. What is the weight of this? They tell you this is the weight of it. Because it contains something. So the non-Muslim comes on Yawm al-Qiyamah because he has disbelieved on Allah. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. We will not assign any weight to them. Basu the wani qima. Because what is that weight? It's your good deeds. To basu them out, aikin al-khairi, everything about them is not going to benefit. So there is nothing to weigh, isn't it? There is nothing to weigh. Because tawheed is what will even qualify your deeds to be weighed. For example, فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. So this is an evidence that what? That human beings are going to be weighed. Because Allah said we are not going to. How is this an evidence? أَلَا أَنَّ فِي الْآيَةِ مَعْنَى آخَرٍ وَهُوَ أَلَّا نُقِيمَ لَهُمْ وَزْنًا. أي ليسوا عندنا بشيء ولا نعتبرهم شيئا. Su a wajenmu ba kowa suke ba. They are nothing. They are nobody in our side. So we are not going to even weigh them. They don't mean anything. Isn't it? وَأَمَّا الَّذِي يُعْزَنْ وَهُوَ الْعَمَلِ. Now, before we go to saying that the deeds are going to be weighed. Now, this فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ Wazn namla, small ant, sagira, asgar, the smallest of ants, ma yakunu min al-nam. If your deed is as small as the smallest ant, khayran yara, you're going to see it if it is good. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. قال Ibn Abbas, in the tafsir of Imam al-Baghawi under this verse, Ibn Abbas, and listen to this statement of Ibn Abbas and write it somewhere. قال Ibn Abbas, he said, لَيْسَ مُؤْمِنٌ ولا كافر عمل خيرا أو شرا في الدنيا إلا أراه الله إياه يوم القيامة. Inshallah, I will write the Arabic text. That was why I said I was going to come with marker. Maybe next week someone should help us with the marker. I will write it on the WhatsApp group, inshallah, for you. But Ibn Abbas is saying, under this verse, ليس مؤمن ولا كافر. There is no any believer, no any kafir. Amala khayran, that does any good deed, aw sharran, or any, which means a kafir can do a good deed. So no Muslim or non-Muslim will do any good deed or an evil deed fi dunya, in this world, illa arahu Allahu iyyahu yawm al-qiyamah, except that Allah will show him what he has done on yawm al-qiyamah. You will see the good deeds that he has done. Fa amma al-mu'min, but listen, as for the believer, fa yura hasanatihi, he will see his good deeds. وَسَيِّئَاتِهِ, he will see his good deeds and his evil deeds. فَيَغْفِرُ اللَّهِ, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, سَيِّئَاتِهِ, Allah will forgive him his. وَيُثِيبَهُ بِحَسَنَاتِهِ, then Allah will reward him for his good deeds. Allah will forgive. Each one of us has evil deeds, and each one of us has good deeds. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Ibn Abbas said, لَيْسَ مُؤْمِن وَلَا كَافِرٌ عمل خيرا أو شرا في الدنيا إلا أراه الله إياه يوم القيامة. So you're going to see you. But as for the believer, فأما المؤمن, Allah will show you your good deeds. Allah will show you your evil deeds. Your good deeds, Allah will reward you for them. Your evil deeds, Allah will forgive you for them. وَأَمَّا الْكَافِرِ, as for the kafir, the unbeliever, فَتُرَدُّ حَسَنَاتِهِ, his good deeds will be thrown away. وَيُعَذِّبَهُ بِسَيِّئَاتِهِ, and he will be punished for his evil deeds. I hope you understand this. Naam. Then فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, again, Imam al-Baghawi, فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, when Allah said, تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارِ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ, the fire will burn their faces and therein they will grin with displaced lips. They will be disfigured on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Why? Why did Allah say, وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ, they will be disfigured. أي وهم فيها كالحون عابسون. عابسون, their faces will grin. The statement فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, Ibn Kathir said, أي مَنْ رَجَحَتْ حَسَنَاتِهِ عَلَى سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَلَوْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ. You have 50 evil deeds and 51 good deeds. Even if it is by one deed, وَلَوْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينَكَ, your scales will be heavy. Even if it is by one, that is the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ibn Abbas said, وَلَوْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ. فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, these are the successful ones. أي الَّذِينَ فَازُوا فَنَجُوا مِنَ النَّارِ وَأَدْخَلُوا الْجَنَّةِ. These are people that will be successful. These are people that will be saved from hellfire. And these are the people that will be entered into paradise. Which means scale. It is the scale that will establish that. If your good deed outweighs your evil deed with one, you are 50-51, then ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينَكَ, inshallah. وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ أي ثَقُلَتْ سَيِّئَاتِهِ عَلَى حَسَنَاتِهِ, his evil deeds outweigh his good deed. فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ أي خَابُوا وَهَلَكُوا, that person is destroyed. May Allah safeguard us. Naam. Then those people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا, we are talking about we are going to be weighed. And some people, Allah said, we are not going to establish any weight for them. So they are weightless. So what are we going to put? فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا, because لِأَنَّهُمْ كُفَّارٌ. أَلَيْسَ كَذَلِكَ? Then Ibn Kathir said, أي لا نثقل موازينهم, we're not going to make their scales heavy. لأنها خالية عن الخير, because it is devoid of any good deed. It is devoid of any good deed. In the very beginning of this Aqidah class, we said what? The prerequisite for your good deed to be termed as a good deed and acceptable is Tawheed. Without it, your good deeds are nothing when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why Allah said, Man ja'a bil hasana. Man ja'a bil hasana. Ay yawm al qiyamah. If you meet Allah with good deeds, because it is possible for you to do good deeds and you disbelieve in Allah, and that good deed will no longer, you will not go to Allah with it again. وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ, whoever meets Allah with evil deed, because it's possible for you to do evil deed and you seek for Allah's forgiveness, so you are not meeting Allah with that evil deed. Look at the grammatical construct of these verses in the Quran. Amazing, amazing. مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ, which means there is possibility that you do good deeds, but you are not going to meet Allah with that good deeds. Because if you do good deeds and now you apostate, that good deed will no longer count again. So you are not going to meet Allah with those good deeds, despite the fact that you have done them. وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ, you have done evil deeds today, but Allah gave you opportunity to repent in the evening. that when you die, immediately after your repentance, you meet Allah with no sin again. That particular sin will no longer, because you are not meeting Allah with it. You have already sought for Allah. You had already sought for Allah's forgiveness. If Allah forgave you, then that's the end of it. That is why Allah said, Man ja'a, ja'a, ja'a. So for your good deeds to benefit you, then you have to meet Allah with those good deeds. And the only way that your deeds are going to be applicable on Yawm al-Qiyamah is when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Iman. I hope I'm clear on this. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.